All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Sunday, November 2nd. Fuck it, it's a raw feed. I'm doing it live in studio. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat, and I'm doing it live in Hollywood, in the epicenter of showbiz, in the epicenter of the epicenter, in a closet at an Airbnb. So I am right now surrounded by clothes, and that is where I am in Hollywood. That's how you do it. You record in a closet in Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that is how most Hollywood podcasts are done. That's
Yes,
Smartless. They are all in three separate closets.
in three separate rental closets
Yeah.
that they've made sure to set up so that they look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
That is a prerequisite of a smartless rental closet is you got to look terrible. It
Mm-hmm.
has to look like what podcasts looked like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yes, I
Primordial
am here.
podcasts.
What was that?
Primordial podcasts.
Yes,
That's what those
yes.
were called 15 years ago.
So I am here. This is going to be my last episode in the States before I head to Japan, and I'm gone for 3 episodes. But Clayton, you don't have to announce it here, but I hear you're lining up some big special guest co-hosts while I'm gone. That is the buzz I'm hearing. Actually, out here in Hollywood, everyone's talking about who is going to fill in for Pat on these next 2 to 3 episodes.
And I want to be clear here because I'm not you.
Yeah.
And I need to be clear because there is the buzz going around. There's rumblings. These are not tryouts. These are just co-hosting slots. They're not tryouts. So if you're hearing that Clayton's trying out a new co-host, it is not trying out. It is just filling in. And
Okay.
I want people to know that.
Now, listen, I am safe and secure in my spot in the show, both because of my confidence and because of clauses that I put into various contracts of ours over the years.
Yeah, contracts can get lost. It happens. It's happened.
Well, I am hearing that buzz too out
Yeah.
here in Hollywood because there is confusion. People are thinking, are these tryouts?
Mm-hmm.
Is this a potential where we're going to get an announcement, a new co-host of the BO Boys? So I don't even want to squash that. I love having that buzz going around town because it's been so long since anything like that has mattered. You know, back in the day, is Leno or Letterman get in the Carson spot? Let people let people debate. Is one of these guest co-hosts going to actually get the Pat spot on the BO Boys? I say, let them talk.
Yeah, and if somebody pops off, who knows? But it's not right now going into it as a tryout. It's not a tryout.
No. It's an opportunity, I'd say, for any of these guest co-hosts to, if they could shine when they're in the big man's chair, then there's other podcast networks who come calling because they shined on the BO Boys. So, that's when maybe an Earwolf throws down a big cash offer, a Barstool, a Spotify. We'll see. So these are some big opportunities the next few weeks. But I'm here today, Clayton. And before I leave the United States for a fabulous vacation, I would love to hear a plow for the box office weekend of Friday, October 31st, Halloween 25.
Now, this is interesting because there's a shootout at the top. There's controversy.
Yep.
Because one, Deadline has a movie in the top 5 and the numbers doesn't. And so I'm going to go by the numbers.
Okay. There are discrepancies. We'll talk those discrepancies afterwards. Yes.
Number 1, Regretting You, made $8.1 million, down only 41%. It added 32 theaters its second weekend. Number 2, Black Phone 2, made $8 million, down 38%. It lost 155 theaters in it's at 61.4 in its third weekend. Number 3, Chainsaw Man, made $6 million, down 67%. No theater change. It's at $30.7 million in its second weekend. Number 4, Bugonia, made $4.8 million. That is a plus of 576%. It added 2,026 theaters. It's at $5.8 million in its second weekend. And number 5, according to the numbers, Back to the Future made $4.7 million and only 2,290 theaters. It's beating out number 6, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, 3.8 million, down 57%. No theater change. It's at $16.2 million in its second weekend. Now, missing there is the re-release of the K-pop Demon Hunters that Netflix did for the holiday. According to Deadline, that is number 4. So that pushes Back to the Future out of the top 5.
Yes. Well, of course, the reason that discrepancy exists is because Netflix doesn't report numbers.
Yes.
Like every other studio, they don't report numbers. And so Deadline did some reporting, which good on them. Good on Anthony D is for the reporter, D. Alessandro, getting out there, getting some numbers. But the numbers doesn't report numbers. So they're not putting K-pop Demon Hunters in there.
Yeah. Now we did not put Demon Hunters at the top. We've had conversations about this, whether or not we should talk about this movie because of the way Netflix is doing their releasing of things into theaters. The wrinkle here is that AMC was on board with this, and we are proud A-listers. And if AMC is coming around, I don't know. Are we coming around again? Like Carly Simon sang.
Yeah, I do tend to. Listen. Netflix we talked about this a few weeks ago. Netflix might end up buying Warner Brothers, which would be a disaster.
They put out a bid. I'm hearing things out in Hollywood, aside from the town talking about who my guest hosts are going to be. Who your guest hosts are going to be? You're not there. My guest host.
Your guest host for my spot, for the big man's chair. So they're talking about that, but they're also talking about this Warner Brothers situation. And right now, Netflix is starting to emerge, maybe not as a front runner, but as the hot new bidder. And if that happens, then we're all going to have to reckon with this. And we're all going to have to make that push. The BO Boys, AMC, everyone's going to have to push them to being a real studio, putting things in movie theaters, reporting numbers. Obviously, that will be a Herculean effort.
Yeah.
But we can't just pretend Netflix doesn't exist. I think that is the thing that they want. They want to be left alone to destroy theatrical. We have to reckon with them and reckon with what they do.
But what we can say for now with this K-pop is that this sequel needs to be released in theaters exclusively before it drops on Netflix and have a window, a big window and a wide release, because that there's no loss for Netflix if they do that, because kids are going to rewatch it at home whenever it drops, even if it's 90 days after it came into theaters. You do the first weekend and you do sing along. I mean, you release the album first. You do all. I mean, listen, I can't believe I have to tell people how to market movies now. But I mean, that's what it would be. Is like you release the album. All the kids know all the songs. They go to the theater. You have regular screenings and then you have sing-along screenings. You would make so much bank off of this. And then when it drops on Netflix, it's not like people aren't going to watch it, and it's not going to be the most watched thing on Netflix for weeks and weeks and weeks, because kids watch things over and over and over and over again. You know this. You have nieces. So there's no downside other than if Netflix truly does want to destroy theatrical.
Well, that's the thing.
This will be the proof that they want to keep you in your homes. They want to make sure you all get scurvy and and get no sunlight, right?
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Oh,
they want gray zombies staring at a screen waiting for a 400 minute long Stranger Things finale. That's what they want.
Netflix, I am sure, is just praying that polio comes back. There's a lot of people, it seems, who are heavily invested in the return of polio. And I do think Netflix is one of them. Because could you imagine a world in which polio is back, better than ever, bigger than ever? We're talking 1905 polio. Netflix then has a polio infected populace who has to stay home and watch these never-ending Stranger Things episodes because
Yeah.
they have no other choice. So, listen, when we talk about Netflix, how they should put something in a theatrical window, we're talking as if they were looking at it from a business point of view of making money off theatrical. They're not. They're looking at it as if we could combine a polio-infested populace with AI and then no theatrical for them to escape to, then they're set. That is what
Yeah.
they are looking for. And obviously, we got to push them away from that. The
Mm-hmm.
BO Boys, AMC, we got to try and get them away from their polio, AI, everyone's at home watching Stranger Things plan. But that is their plan. That is their plan.
Now, I think we do have to talk about Back to the Future quickly. And, according to the actual chart, I was right. I said this would slip into 5.
Yeah.
What's interesting here, The Boss, huge drop. Also, these are both mid 80s titans, right? Because Born in the USA came out, I believe, 84. Back to the Future came out 85. They were both firing. I mean, Michael J. Fox, The Boss, firing on the highest cylinder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this movie from 30 years ago beat The Boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
It beat The Boss. This shows. And listen, I love The Boss.
You do.
We had an episode with the great podcast Jesus, Kirk Minahan. He also loves The Boss. He loves The Boss more than anybody else. I can't even say that I'm as close a fan as he is. He's the toppermost of the poppermost. I do love Bruce, but I have to admit, his standing in pop culture has dropped so low that a 30-year-old movie, right, has beaten him in his second weekend. That is crazy, and that shows the standing of Bruce Springsteen at the moment.
Well, it shows the standing of what people want out of these 80s icons because they went to Back to the Future re-release because they knew they were getting the fun Back to the Future movie that they all remember from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The Bruce Springsteen movie, as we've talked about, isn't giving you Born in the USA Bruce Springsteen, who, I mean, you look at that album cover. We haven't talked about this in all the weeks we've talked about the Springsteen movie flopping.
You've been chomping at the bit to talk about this bum.
Well, you look at that album cover.
And he's not a bum. I'm talking about his bum.
Bum.
He's not a bum.
It is a picture of a bum. It is Bruce's bum with a little kerchief coming out of it. And it's a bum. It's a great 80s bum. And when you think of the 80s, that is a thing that you do think of. You think of a male rump. George Michael, Bruce Springsteen. And Michael Douglas. You know, his bum carried on into the bare butt. And Mel Gibson, you know. He's someone that
Costner did it, but he did it in the 90s, right? Costner was the bum of the 90s, the early 90s.
And listen, like anything else, when you talk about decades, the decades flow into each other. So the 80s male bum flowed into a 90s male bum. The 90s male bum got darker. The Michael Douglas bum in the 90s was darker than some of the male bums we saw in the 80s.
Yeah.
But the 80s was a male bum heavy time. And Bruce, on that album cover, he was right in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. He was wagging his little bum around, and that's what people loved. That's what people loved in the 80s, and this Bruce Springsteen movie, it doesn't give you that. You know, if there was a Back to the Future re-release where the promotion was, oh, this isn't actually the movie that you love from the 80s. These are scenes of when Doc Brown was all by himself trying to invent something other than the DeLorean, of just him in a shed, not talking to anyone. There's no Marty McFly. And it's just him trying to invent not a time machine.
Well, then
that's the movie.
Then Marty would be talking to his girlfriend about him and be like, I don't know. I haven't, I hang out with this old guy and we used to be really close. And now I don't know what's going on with him. But I did, you do know about him that he did grow up with a big hole in his floor.
Right.
And Marty's telling his girlfriend about all this stuff. Like that would be the equivalent movie. Or if they, instead of re-releasing Back to the Future, they re-released Bright Lights, Big City,
Right. Right.
where you see Michael J. Fox as a coked up yuppie, which is not what the fans want. They don't want a dark. They don't want a dark Jamie. They don't want a Michael J. Fox. They don't want
Yeah.
the dark Michael J. Fox. They want the fun Marty McFly vest
Yes.
Michael J.
A
Fox.
Casualties of War re-release this weekend would not have done as well as the Back to the Future re-release, even though they were both 80s Michael J. Fox vehicles.
No, but David Spade would have feasted on that.
Oh.
If that would have re-released,
Oh.
he would have been doing that impression on Fly on the Wall,
Oh, yeah.
which, listen, I'm here for it.
Yeah. And that is the thing, kind of the final word on this whole Bruce Springsteen movie fiasco is you look at that Born in the USA album cover, and that is what people wanted. If the trailer for Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere,
it's just the bum.
It's just the bum. Instead of starting with the hole in the wall, it started.
It's in the floor. It's a hole in the floor.
Hole in the floor. You start with the bum in your face, Bruce's bum. And that's how the trailer starts. And then it wiggles. It does that famous Bruce Springsteen wiggle. And if you are watching on YouTube, you're seeing me because we are YouTubers. Hey, guys, I'm doing the wiggle with my hands. That's what Bruce's bum should have done at the start of the trailer. And then you give him fun 80s Born in the USA Bruce. That movie, listen, would it have been Bohemian Rhapsody? No, but it would have been so much bigger than it is now. So much bigger.
Do you think a movie that was about the rock, what was it called? The rock bottom remainders, the ones that novelty band that had Stephen King, Amy Tan, Matt Groening in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a biopic about that?
Yeah.
Because Stephen King is big as an IP.
He is big as an IP,
Do you think that would have done better than this Deliver Me from Nowhere? Would it have opened bigger? Because those are big names. You got, Amy Tan, Matt Groening, Stephen King. They're in a rock band. It's covering that tour that they did.
It wouldn't have done. It couldn't have done much worse. I mean, the second weekend of this Springsteen movie dropped 57%. This thing is totally DOA.
Roy Blount Jr., I believe, was also in that band. Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
It couldn't have done much worse. I mean, this is getting beat by Back to the Future. In Back to the Future's 2,105th weekend, according to the numbers. They really gotta work on how they give us the number of weekends in release for these re-release movies.
That's not actually in that. It hasn't been in theaters for that long.
Yeah, consecutive since 1985. No, it hasn't been.
So let's talk about the top, because there's a little fighting going on here between the movies and also between the studios. They're saying, so it's Universal versus Paramount. Regretting You, supposedly, is number one right now.
Mm-hmm.
That could change on Monday, but as of right now, Regretting You has bounced up to the top of the chart.
Yeah.
And so this, this is not 41%.
It's a great hold.
It's a great hold for this.
It's a great hold, yeah.
People were saying this thing was dead.
Yeah.
And it's not. I mean, are people coming around to this? Is the general public coming around to this? Because I'm hearing that it's a bonkers movie. And I think a lot of people are going to see it because they want something that is crazy, like emotional and weird, and the sort of experience you can get from watching like what are those holiday movies on what's
like
that
a
network?
Lifetime holiday movie.
Lifetime sort of thing. Yeah. And I think they want to experience that. And Black Phone 2, it's a Halloween horror movie, so that's good. So these are two things that are sort of conflicting and fighting right now. But this is good because we thought this would be an absolute dead weekend with nothing going on.
I mean, here's the thing.
The money's still low, but at least there's some interest here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a terrible weekend and a terrible month for Hollywood. I think we could
The
get
month
to
has been
that
terrible.
point.
Yeah.
We could get to that point in a second, but this regretting you. Now, here's the thing. Like you said, there is a discrepancy because Paramount is saying they're reporting this 8.1 number, only a 41% drop. There are other studios who are saying, we don't believe that. We don't believe that. We think that when the numbers actually fully come in on Monday, it's not going to be that high. But we got to take Paramount's word at it for right now. And if that is the case, that it
Because
only
Paramount,
dropped...
trustworthy company, as we've
of
found out
course.
from firsthand knowledge.
Yes. Well, I think they had their new news division is on the case here.
Oh, yeah.
So, of course, you're going to have to trust the new Paramount CBS news division.
Oh, yes.
They seem like unimpeachable. That's how they seem, of course.
Finally, we have our Cronkite.
Yes. Well, they listen. They are ready to, as they said, as their new chief said, let's just do the fucking news. That is their big motto over at CBS. So maybe at Paramount, it's just report the fucking numbers.
Yeah.
And that is what Paramount did. They're saying it's 8.1. Listen, I hope it's that high.
Yeah.
I hope that the Paramount theatrical reporting division is more trustworthy than the CBS News division is now. And I hope it is a 41% drop. I think this is a good sign overall for the Colleen Hoover IP.
Yes.
And I've been hearing some things the last week, people talking, well, the Regretting You franchise within the Colleen Hoover verse is not as strong as the This Ends With Us franchise. There's different franchises within. This is not the A franchise. So if this does well, that's a good sign for when we get back to the stronger Colleen Hoover books.
I love that already Colleen Hoover has, these are the Avengers and then this is Ant-Man.
Exactly.
So Regretting You is Ant-Man. So we have to expect it to do what Ant-Man would do. Now, this was before the Quantumania trying to make but I'm talking about like the original Ant-Man movie. Its expectations were way lower than if you put out a Avengers movie, obviously.
Yes.
So, but it's good that there's those things within that Colleen Hoover universe. I love that.
Yes. Because I'm looking at some of the other ones coming out. Colleen Hoover has, I think the big one is the one coming out next year with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Is Verity. I think the one that's coming out from MGM, directed by Michael Showalter. So him
what
and
an
Anne
interesting
Hathaway
career
really...
he's had. Hathaway's one of a Showalter regular now.
Yeah. So okay. So the Colleen Hoover Verity adaptation that comes out next October, that's Michael Showalter directing, and your leads are Dakota Johnson, Josh Hartnett, and Anne Hathaway. So that is a much bigger property, it seems, than what we got. And listen, not to poo-poo Allison Williams, Marnie from Girls, our favorite girl.
And
but
not James Franco. Oh my goodness. I mean, Dave Franco.
And Dave Franco. You never want to poo-poo either of the Franco brothers. I know you're big supporters. They are.
Well, are you hanging out with Leto while you're out in LA? Are you meeting up with him?
All I'm saying
putting on the robe and having ayahuasca or whatever?
Tron Aris didn't do a Morbius drop. That's all I said. That's all I said.
Did you say that to him?
I did not. We do not do ayahuasca together.
Okay.
We do not. We do it separately, but not together.
Oh, so you do like a remote.
We've never shared an ayahuasca puke bucket. I could say that firmly. Jared Leto and I have never shared a puke bucket on an ayahuasca trip. So,
great. But you did go on the trip.
That does seem like the much bigger Colleen Hoover adaptation. Like next October when Verity comes out, I think we could safely predict a much bigger box office for that than Regretting You. But it is great that Regretting You is holding so well. People have an affinity for these books, for this author.
And here's the thing. If this stands as number one, the fact that this movie is now like, oh, it's a number one movie.
Yep.
That means a lot.
Yes.
Like to go from not number one to number one, means a lot, because then that is giving you the societal sign, something's brewing here, something's going on. So
Yes.
this will only help this movie.
Yeah.
And theater going in general, because we're no longer, and I do love that they're sort of talking about it at the top. It is a little fun to have Universal and Paramount being like, oh, no. But as we said, there's no longer the urge. You can't at this point try to destroy another movie because you just need people in the theaters to see your movies. So if this movie does go to number one, it is helpful for movies in general. Right? Because then, something's going on at the top of the charts here.
Yeah. And listen, now Regretting You, when they take out their newspaper print ads, they could put the number one movie in America.
Mm-hmm.
They could put that on the billboards. They could put that on the newspaper ads. If they're running radio spots, they could do that on drive time radio. Come see Regretting You, the number one movie in America.
Yeah.
And
that means
for
something.
Allison Williams. It's something else she could put on her resume.
To have another number one movie.
Another number one movie. So I hope that's what sticks here.
Because Black Phone, it made its money. It did what it did. It's a solid hit for Blumhouse.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be number one again.
Yeah.
That means nothing to anyone other than, Blumhouse and Universal.
Yeah. Yeah. The grabber already is pretty secure. Much like me, I am secure even though I'm going away for 3 weeks, that I am co-host of the BO Boys, and the grabber's in the same boat. The grabber is secure in his spot. Pat and the grabber are equally in on good footing.
We do have some barn burners coming up. I'll be honest with you. This is truly a rogues gallery.
Okay. Listen, we're in Starvember. Today is Sunday, November 2nd. Starvember has begun.
Yes.
So the Starvember starts with the guest co-hosts, and I'm excited to listen because, again, I'm secure in my spot, both just personally and contractually.
And I have no comment on it at the moment. I made my comment. I have no further comment.
So that's the battle at 1 and 2. And all that said, and Chainsaw Man number 3 did terrible, drop 67%. But listen, it's anime, it's Crunchyroll. That's what these things do right now.
But it's at 30.7. It already made a ton of money internationally.
Yep.
I mean, we're seeing that the one thing that there's a knock on these movies is that they're so front loaded.
Right.
But eventually we are moving, and the thing I like about what's happening here with anime is that things are transitioning over to those being sustained blockbusters in a slow enough way that I'm not terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sort of making plans. It's like I know what's going to happen. I'm not in pain, but I know it's like having a disease where you're not in pain, but you sort of know, okay, at some point, this is going to happen. Which for me, I'm sure, obviously, if it's happening in real life, I wouldn't like that. But
you're
in
comfortable.
This case,
you're being made comfortable.
I'm being made comfortable for a world that is going to be video game adaptations and anime.
Yeah.
By the time I'm in my 60s, it's all going to be anime.
It'll be a lot of anime,
right?
For sure.
I mean, anime will be what the superhero movies were.
Yeah.
In that time frame of 2008 to 2019.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I am getting adjusted to that.
Yeah.
They might have to up my morphine drip.
I'll do that for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. But
something. I'll up something.
But I'm trying to handle it with grace.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing great. I think that we're all very proud of how you're handling this. Because listen, there was a good chance that you would have thrown a fit as these anime movies kept being number one at the box office.
Cartoons are for babies.
That is something you say, and that could have been you just saying that nonstop every time one of these.
Well, screaming it like I could be screaming it in the streets, and I'm not doing that.
You're not doing that. You're taking this well, and it's helping the box office because, I mean, let's talk about this month.
Ugh.
This is, as much as we're saying, oh, Regretting You held well, and oh, Back to the Future re-release made a top 5. Just theatrical movie going this month has been a disaster. Thank God again for, of course, Taylor Swift dropping her movie, The Release Party of a Showgirl, into theaters for that weekend. I mean, theaters needed that 33 million because this month has been a disaster. Now, do you look at it as another part of the existential crisis of, do people go to movie theaters anymore? Is theatrical movie theater going in a full-on death spiral? Or is it, we had some big titles that pretty close to the game got moved out of October? Mortal Kombat, Michael Jackson movie.
Yeah.
Is that really it?
Oh,
or
yeah,
is it a
because
bigger theaters are cooked and October proved it situation?
Because, Pat, if that Michael Jackson movie dropped,
Yeah.
we are having a whole different conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if that Mortal Kombat 2 dropped, we're having a whole different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both of those in the same month, then we're talking, oh, theatrical is back. I mean, it's always, it's back, it's gone, it's back, it's gone. And I think that it is product. It's truly product. That's what it is. And the product this month was not what people wanted. And instead of freaking out, these studios got to learn from that. They won't, but they should.
Yeah, it's I totally agree. The Michael Jackson movie, if that had come out the first Friday in October like it was supposed to, and probably grossed 200-400 million domestic, which it probably would have, which it will when it does come out.
It's a Bohemian Rhapsody. It would have been like a Bohemian Rhapsody situation,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that would have been gigantic. And this Mortal Kombat movie feels like this is going to be an event. The Johnny Cage aspect, love him or hate him, you're going to pay to see him.
It looks, dare I say it, Pat, fun.
Yeah.
Wow, a movie that's fun. Can you believe it? It looks fun and violent.
Yeah. And it's given the people what they want out of that IP. It's given them the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they did make, I mean, listen, we could really rail on that first movie for not being the tournament, because then you get one shot at a reboot of a Mortal Kombat movie, and if you were telling people that, oh, the tournament's not even going to happen, that could have really killed that.
People are excited.
Yeah,
even though
franchise.
that movie would have been a big hit this October. And I feel like, was there one other thing that got moved out?
Mendelsohn wrote about this in his newsletter.
There was
The
one
Outside
other
Scoop.
thing. I don't think as big as Michael Jackson or Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition, but you had a couple of things that would have been big hits that got moved out. The problem is these days, and we've had a lot of that the last few years because of COVID, because of the various work stoppages, things getting moved out, and then you get a period
your third act being legally null and void, like you not being able to have the third act of your movie because there is a legal problem.
Michael Jackson thing. Well,
so that happens all the time.
But I'm just saying that we've had movies get moved out, and it pretty much causes a huge disaster for those couple of months. Whereas 10 years ago, 15 years ago, even 6-7 years ago, if a movie got moved out of a month, the month wouldn't collapse. No. There just aren't enough movies, because that's always happened. Movies have always shifted on the schedule, but when movies shifted 10, 15 years ago, you didn't say, oh my God, is the industry going to survive because a movie got pushed back 6 months? Whereas what happens now, when any big movie moves, the entire 4, 5, 6 weeks around that become a disaster.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there was already product out that could fill the gap. And also there was an opportunity for another movie to say, oh, wow, cool, I'll fill in that gap.
Right. Tron Eras couldn't fill in the gap. Roofman couldn't fill in the gap. Springsteen. I mean, there was a time on the schedule when Springsteen and Michael Jackson were going to open within 2 weeks of each other.
Yeah, that would have been bad for the boss.
Yeah, he would have looked so much more foolish when Michael Jackson movie is opening to 80-90 million dollars and he's opening to 8.
I mean, I don't know. Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future re-release beating him in the second weekend. I mean, I think people would just be like, well, of course Michael Jackson's going to beat Bruce. Like, I don't think he would have looked more foolish.
10 times the opening. That's what it would have been if they opened.
I think the assumption is, I mean, Michael Jackson still gets played at weddings. Bruce Springsteen does not get played at weddings.
He gets played at funerals, though, for sure.
Springsteen, of course. He has so many funeral songs. I mean, he has so many perfect funeral songs.
Yeah, he's a funeral song guy. Michael Jackson's a wedding guy.
Yeah.
So, that's the problem right now is when a movie has to move out of the schedule, everything collapses around it. There is just not enough depth in these releases, in these schedules to give theatrical a business where they don't have to freak out every time a studio moves a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're a theater owner now, if you're AMC, you freak out every time you hear a big movie is moving.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable. They have to, and I know they have to produce better movies, but they just have to produce more movies. You can't have
that's how you get better movies.
10 polls a month.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also how you get better movies. Is just you make movies, and then some of them are great, and some of them are not as great.
So, in the deadline write through, did you see this? And listen, obviously, Anthony D is for Disney D'Alessandro, and it is for the business D'Alessandro. Is always trying to sugarcoat things. He talks about, so this weekend and this month were a disaster, but there's a quote from Anthony D'Alessandro today. If you were at the cinemas this weekend, you think the entertainment format was dead. But if you were at Universal Studios Hollywood Halloween Horror Nights, you'd see that the yield of the feature film business is in great shape, with crowds waiting 2 hours to get into experiences such as Terrifier and Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, here's what I can say. Terrifier is a phenomenon built outside the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to pat yourself on the back like Hollywood is doing a good job, Terrifier had to come from grassroots nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's your sort of, that is your biggest claim to fame. Like, oh, that's great. Like, look at how great Terrifier is doing. It's like Terrifier had to scratch and claw its way into theaters. Right? So I get it. And then Five Nights at Freddy's, that is a video game. That's IP that a video game creator created.
Mm-hmm.
So these things aren't coming from Hollywood. Right.
I mean, listen, the IP thing, I think that's listen, The Godfather was a book and then it became a movie.
I understand.
Freddy is a video game that became a movie. You gotta, if you're Hollywood, you gotta go find where the characters are.
I love that.
Don Corleone is a book. Freddy's a video game. To me, they're all the same.
Okay.
To me, there's no difference between Freddy Fazbear and Don Corleone.
But I do think Terrifier is one of those things where it's like he's being let into the party now.
Yeah.
In a way that's like, all right, you're acting as if you had confidence in Art the Clown from the very jump, and you didn't.
To me, the bigger issue there is that Deadline, Anthony D'Alessandro is saying, oh, no, the movies are healthy. Look at the lines at the Universal Studios Horror Nights attractions. And like, yeah, those attractions have movies attached to them, but they are not the theatrical movies. And AMC is not getting a penny from people waiting online to meet a guy in an Art the Clown costume.
But they are film properties, as you were saying, and that means something. Because where do you see Terrifier? Where do you see Five Nights at Freddy's? The theaters.
Well, then you know what? You got to start seeing them in the theaters. If we're saying that people want these big experiences with these characters, they're going to Universal Studios because they want to get their selfies with Art the Clown. They want to ride the Freddy Fazbear ride. You know, whatever's happening at these Halloween Horror Nights. I'm not going there. I'm not getting on these lines. But
You got sushi dinner with Jared Leto. That's why you're not going.
not with Jared Leto, and we don't share a bucket. We've never once shared a ayahuasca bucket, and we're not going to dinner. But I do have dinner
But
plans.
you've had onigiri with him.
I do have dinner plans. I'm not
Okay.
going to these Halloween horror nights. I mean, then AMC's got to figure out if this is what people want. They want movies and they want live experiences. Then let's get Freddy Fazbear's bare ass in a AMC lobby.
Yeah.
And make that part of the movie going experience. You know, that they've got to figure out how to translate those dollars from the Halloween horror nights to these movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could just say theatrical's in great shape because people went to go on a Terrifier ride at a theme park.
It is true.
I mean, it's not the same.
It's not the same. They would have been at the theaters right now.
Yeah. It's great for Universal. It's great for the studios, but the theaters themselves have to figure out then how to monetize that. Listen, people want more than just the screens. People. Yeah. They want to see these characters. And we've talked about this before. Get them serving popcorn at the concession stands.
Yeah.
You know, get Freddy Fazbear and his friends to be the ones who were getting you popcorn and handing out mic.
Pat, you're rubbing the mic. You're rubbing the mic.
Oh boy.
You're rubbing your mic. You're rubbing your mic.
All right. Well, you can continue that. You said that, and now that doesn't mean the end of the show. So you can.
It actually does mean the end of the show because I have a hard out. Remember?
Oh, okay. All right. Bye.
Bye. not bye. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the Muppets are not being used. The Muppets should be shilling popcorn. You should have a theater where Kermit is putting up popcorn in a bucket for you, and Fozzie's coming out and he's doing his bad stand-up in front of whatever movie, right? I mean, that's the sort of experience you want at the theater. You want something special that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. So theaters are going to have to figure something out. The studios have to put out more movies, but then the theaters have to figure out how to leverage these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, they're fighting battles on all fronts. Netflix is trying to kill off theaters. Studios they're merging. They're not putting out enough movies. And again, somehow we had a Halloween weekend came and went, and the only horror movie was Weekend 3 of Black Phone 2.
But Pat, listen, I'm not sticking up for Anthony Diaz for Disney D'Alessandro. I don't want to be the guy who's doing that. But the fact that something is happening communally and people are getting together, like at Halloween Horror Nights, bodes well for a place like a theater, which is a communal space where it's like a third space. It's not work. It's not home.
Right.
And like you said, it's about making the theater the same as Hollywood Horror Nights.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to have more experiential things that people pay for at a movie theater. And that's the thing. You have to pay for it. So it's not just that Freddy Fazbear is handing out popcorn. You've got to pay extra to get
premium.
That popcorn from
yeah. Oh, it's a premium.
Because you can go on the line, that's just the pimple-faced teenager getting your popcorn, or you can get on the line where Freddy Fazbear gives you the popcorn. And they're curtained off, so you can't see Freddy Fazbear. You can't see Freddy if you're on the cheaper line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's got to be a premium. People have to realize that there is a level that you are trying to reach, that you can try to attain. Right now, you might not be able to see Freddy Fazbear, but if you work hard in the future, maybe you will.
We haven't talked at all about, and I know you have this hard out for this very important thing, but are we going to talk at all about Bugonia coming in either 4th or 5th, depending on where you put K-pop Demon Hunters?
Well, you had it number 1.
I did have a number 1. I thought it would get to 9 or 10. What did it get to? Like 4.8, it looks like. It's a good enough opening for this type of movie. I think this is just another sign of people want to see Emma Stone because this is such a weird premise, not very marketable.
Yeah.
The bald thing, I don't think, listen, we talked about it. People don't want to shave their heads. They don't want to see people shave their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So her getting it to almost 5 million does just show people want to see her on the big screen.
Yes, yes. I mean, this was not a movie for general audiences. So I mean, yeah, there's only a few actors at this point that can get something like this greenlit, made, and it make any form of money at the theaters with
Yeah.
it with a plot like this.
I'm looking at uh, her recent movie history on the numbers. She really doesn't do, and I know she did some Streamo, she did The Curse, in this time. She doesn't make a lot of movies, Emma Stone. I mean, I'm looking at her since 2020. Of course, she had The Croods New Age in November 2020. And then post-COVID, she's starred in Cruella, which that was a big box office play. It was day and date on Disney Plus. Did 86 domestic, did 225 worldwide. And then otherwise, it's just been the Yorgos movies and Eddington in the last 5 years. She does not do a lot of movies. And she's someone who, I think Emma Stone, if you dropped her into like a Colleen Hoover movie or just something commercial at all,
it would explode.
It would explode.
Yeah.
Because all she does is weird Yorgos Lanthimos movies that actually make money, other than Kinds of Kindness, which was short films. No one cared about that format. But Emma Stone is someone who, when she does do a Cruella 2 or just a romantic comedy or something with Channing Tatum, it'll be gigantic.
Oh, if they did Crazy Stupid Love 2, Crazier Stupider Love, that thing would be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, when she did Zombieland in 2019,
Double Tap
did 73 domestic, another 50 outside the US, 125 worldwide. Yeah, she's in a great spot because she does these Yorgos movies that overperform what they should.
She wins Oscars.
And then the day that she does just do a big studio commercial premise, it'll do 80 million domestic, no problem.
Yeah.
So that is this weekend. Just want to ask you, because I'm not going to be here next week. Next week is Predator Badlands. Are you still incredibly low on this movie?
On it. Yep. Nobody cares about Predator.
And when you say low, obviously you'll do the preview next episode. But right now, are you thinking this thing opens in the teens?
I don't think teens, but like probably 20. I say it opens in like the 20s, maybe.
Okay.
I don't see this as a $40 million opener.
Man.
I just think Predator, like, nobody cares. Like, it was a one-shot movie with Arnie. That's what people wanted. They wanted Arnie versus a monster. And everything else has been, the hits came from Alien versus Predator, which at the point was a novelty of characters crossing over. Now characters cross over all the time. We had the Marvel Universe. We had the DCU. It doesn't mean anything to anybody anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any draw here. I mean, love Elle Fanning, big Elle Fanning fan. She does not bring butts to the seats. We're rooting for the Predator now here. So whatever. Okay. Now we're at the point where we're rooting for Predators.
It is strange that they've never just done big, and I know there was the Danny Glover Predator 2, and then, you've had actors in these other movies, but that they didn't just do, here's Jason Statham versus the Predator. Here is a big action star like Arnold was versus the Predator. We just never get that.
Here's Gary Butler versus Predator.
Yes. It's going to be pretty rough for theaters if this doesn't hit, because they're really counting on something's gotta get us back on track.
Yeah, I think Predator is Tron. Only Predator had one hit movie, and Tron never had a hit movie.
Yeah, it's and the thing is with this movie and then movies the next couple of weeks is October's been so bad, people haven't been seeing the trailers for Predator.
See, that's a huge thing. Big movies begat other big movies.
Yeah.
And if you're skipping the theaters, you're not knowing that this is going to come out. I think the awareness for this is probably pretty low, other than I'm sure there's a lot of ads during football, but I think people don't watch those ads anymore.
No. And you look at the movies that were a hit in October, like the weekend of Taylor Swift, if Predator Badlands trailer played before that, it doesn't matter at all. No one who went that weekend is going to go see Predator.
Yeah.
And no one went to see Tron. No one went to, Black Phone underperformed. So people just did not see this trailer.
I mean, Black Phone did fine. It didn't underperform.
Well,
I mean,
it did fine, but that's not a giant amount of people who got to see the Predator trailer.
No.
I mean, we're talking about there being such a big hit that everyone saw this trailer 3 times, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, that is all I got.
Pat.
Yeah.
Wow. We did it then.
We did it. So I'm excited to hear Starvember the next couple of weeks, hear these guest hosts, and then I will be back refreshed, full of sushi, and maybe I'll have kimonos for
maybe you gotta have kimonos.
We'll see. So that's something to look forward to once you get through these episodes that I'm not on. You get to look forward to that.
It's not about getting through.
Yeah, well,
it's about enjoying the ride.
Enjoy the ride, audience. But I will be back. Don't worry. Just get through it.
Okay. Pat, you could, give us the things.
So email us, theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at theboboyspod. Subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to the Substack. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And you're going to have to remember all of that because I will not be here to say it for the next 3 episodes.
I'll do it. I just didn't want to do it today.
All right. So that is it. That's all I got.
Pat, I finished, and you've said it all.
All right. Perfect. I could leave now.
Nope. There's still something left to be said.
Okay. Yeah.
Until next time.
Oh.
We'll smell you
at